Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Well, my good buddy Marion from the YouTube channel Robert Roy, I'm sure you've seen him on here, or if you watch his channel you've seen me on there. He asked me if I could help him out to make a camera stand. He wants to make a stand that he can put his camera mount on and wheel it around a little bit. So he had bought a, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's for putting a plant on it. A round deal, it has 4 wheels on it. And he was trying to figure out, well, what could I put on there to mount my camera on? And it's got to be tall enough and this and that. And he was coming up with some ideas and I was coming up with some ideas. And I said, you know what would maybe work pretty good for this? And I said, you know, probably one of those oscillating fans. If we got one of those, a broken one, and we took the fan off, we could figure out a way that we could mount a camera to that. The reason I said that is, number one, you got a base. We could attach the base of that to the wheel base thing that he has. And number two, it already has a height adjustable thing in the center of it. And then we can figure everything else out from there. But I like to reuse things, of course, so I figured that maybe would be a good place to start. And if I find a broken one, the price will be right because it'll be free. So he didn't have a broken one. I didn't have a broken one laying around. So what I did is I went on social media, on Facebook, and maybe some of y'all may have heard of this site. You might have it in your city, you might not, but there's a site here called Buy Nothing. B-U-Y, Buy Nothing, and then whatever your city is. So it would be Buy Nothing Cincinnati, or Buy Nothing Denver, or whatever. So they have that here in San Diego. So I have been a member on the little local one here for our suburb, and I've given away a lot of stuff on there. And I've never really gotten a whole lot off of there. One time I did get a really nice tall beer off of there. Someone bought 2 of them and didn't like it, so I got the second one. So I appreciated that. But you can also ask for things on there. So I posted on there, I said, hey, does anyone have a broken oscillating fan with a stand that they want to get rid of? And within moments, I had a lady like, yes, I have one. I've been trying to get rid of it for a long time. I just always forget about it. It's been in the garage. So there we go. All right. Got this fan. And I don't know, maybe it even does work. But I'm going to figure out a way that we can attach a camera to the top of this thing. And then we'll attach this bottom part to that wheel base once I get that from my buddy there, Marion, and we'll figure it out. But let me see. I might as well see. Maybe the fan works. This fan has got a healthy amount of dust on it. My Santa hat. Dang it. Healthy amount of dust and maybe dog hair on it. I plugged it in just for fun times here. And I don't even know. We got all kinds of different modes on here. Doesn't appear to be working, and everything here is kind of tight. I'm willing to bet if I wanted to get this fan working that I could. But it is worth what we paid for it. Let's get the Santa hat on here. This is an old hat. That's a San Diego Chargers hat. You can tell because it's no, you can't. It doesn't say any difference. But I know it's a San Diego Chargers hat. Anyway, we're not going to use this for a fan anyway. So unplug that. And voila! We have a height adjustable base. Well, maybe. Let's see how height adjustable this thing even is. Okay. So we got maybe about a foot of height adjustability built into it. So now we just have to figure out, see, I could leave this piece even on here maybe, and maybe just take this off. Let's do that. Let's just see if we can't figure out a way to get that part off. And this might actually make a pretty good base to mount a camera on, or to mount something else on anyway. So we'll try that. Now if I was wanting to try to get this fan operating, this is where I would start anyway. Taking this whole thing apart and getting into the motor and maybe cleaning it up. But we're unplugged. 9 times out of 10 when you take a fan apart, these things are reverse thread, so righty-loosey. And then the blades pop right off. Almost every little fan like this I've ever worked on is the same. Then you got this part here that takes your back cage off usually. Little plastic nut, and this whole cage comes off. And now we should be able to take the cover off the motor here. There we go. And I'm willing to bet that if I got in there with my air compressor and blew this motor out, it would be able to get it operating. But we're not going to worry about that too much. Excuse me a moment. Just had to go grab a long screwdriver here. Because my driver bit there wasn't going to work. We'll pull this knob off here, hopefully, for the oscillating portion of the motor. There we go. And now, let's see if we can't figure out how to get this off of here. What else is holding it? I don't know. Ah, there's a rubber plug in the back of the motor here, it looks like. Let's see if we can't get that out. Let me get a flat tip screwdriver. Hold your horses. Where did that saying come from? Hold your horses. Sometimes the English language is an interesting thing, isn't it? There we go. Rubber plug is flying out of here. All right, and there you have it. Yeah, you can see how much crap is in this motor. Yeah, I bet if I were to clean this out, we would have an operational fan. But we're not looking for an operational fan right now. We're looking to make this into some sort of a camera stand. So what we need to do is to get this motor off of here. And it looks like this is the arm that runs the oscillating feature of the fan. When you turn the motor on, it turns, and then there's a little gearbox here that causes this to go around, and that's what gives you your oscillating feature. Pretty interesting, huh? Yeah, you might not be interested in it, but that's okay. You're learning about it one way or another. And it looks like this is probably where our motor comes out right here. There's another rubber plug. Yep, there's a screw there. Let's pull that out. And let me see, where can I set you? Oh, here, so you can see what the hell's going on. I'm sure this is way exciting. Is it? I mean, I'm having fun. This is the kind of stuff that I like to do. This is the tinkering part of Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. We're not really doing anything of any real value here. Yeah, look at that, motor comes out. So now we got to find a way to sneak in and get this thing loose. There we go. Just have to kind of hold it at a funky angle. And dropping screws and stuff right and left here, no problem. Almost got it, I think. And that thing has got a healthy screw in it. Can you see what's going on here even? There you go. All right. Let me tilt you up a little bit more. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them wires off of there. And what we'll have, I'll cut them wires off of there, I'll cut that wire off of there, and we'll figure out a way to attach something here to mount his camera, because then we'll have up and down, and then we'll also have a little bit of movement this way. So let me get a wire cutters. We'll cut this off, pull that wire out, and it'll still look cool here. All right, now back to this thing here. I've been thinking about it for a little bit. Need to find a way to make it easy to attach the camera to this. And one of the things that we discussed was some PVC. So I got some PVC pieces laying around here. Let me kind of show you what I'm taking. This is my my tripod that I usually use. So I hold it when I'm putting it on me, or sometimes on whatever the subject is, and then I can set it up and use it. But the thought was to attach this PVC in one fashion or another, and then be able to put your tripod in it like that. So then you could put it on the stand, put the stand where you want it. Now what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this to about right there, so I can drop this in. That'll hold it. I have this cap. Now I need to find a way to attach this cap on here. So I was going to look through my chunks of wood maybe. Oh yeah, check this thing out. Check how crooked this is. I know I'm kind of getting on a tangent here, but look at how crooked that wood is. That's wild. All right, anyway, so I had all these blocks of wood, a little 2x4. I think what I might be able to do is, this is where the fan mounted. If I drill a hole in the bottom of this, and then you're just even that little oscillating arm mount. So if I drill a couple holes in this, put this on here, I could even put the screws right into where those are at. This will sit on here. Then I can screw that onto that little piece of wood. When I cut this off, that's going to fit inside of there. I think this might work. And it's just, you know, scraps, bits and pieces I got laying around. So I'm going to try to transcribe these holes over onto here and drill the holes into here and see if I can't get this to fit on here. Yeah, I can even put screws anywhere into this. I mean, it's just plastic. I could come up from the bottom of this, maybe even drill a couple of holes through there and just put screws up into the wood as well. So let me see if I can't figure out an easy way to transcribe these holes over into this thing. So I just measured down, you know, like a little bit on here, I don't know, 1.5 inches, and then right to the center for that hole. And then I used my spade bits, found one that was just slightly larger than this. And then once I did that, then I set it over the top of this like that, and then I drew around where that one was, and then I found another spade bit that fits that, so you can see we're fitting over that. So now all I got to do is cut out between the holes that little section right there. I just need to cut that little section out, and then this should fit flush on here, and then I can just find a way to attach it to that, and we're getting there. Using the wood chisel, I cleared out that little area there. And now we're fitting on there pretty good. We'll attach that on top of there. So now we just have to figure out the best way to get this thing attached to here. So like I said, I think I'm just going to drill a very small pilot hole through the center of these holes and see if I can't just get a screw into there and into there, and then I might even just drive a screw right into the back of it, right in here, into this meaty part. It'll just catch this plastic. It's not going to be supporting a whole heck of a lot of weight. As long as this stays on here, we'll be okay. So I drilled right through the center of these two holes, and then I measured back from here to there, and I drilled a hole in the middle there. So let's see here if we can, hopefully, this one is the only one that's really threaded. These other ones are just going to kind of screw into some plastic. So let's see if this one is going to catch that. Oh, it's already going into there. Awesome. All right, so now I have to find some longer screws here. Hopefully not too long. That one looks like it might be just on the verge of too long, but we can try it anyway. And I don't know if that's even going to go into the, I'm not even sure if that's going to go into the plastic or not. Man, I really could use a thing to hold this camera. I'm holding it in the crook of my arm while I'm trying to switch out these bits here. It's awkward, awkward. All right, let's try it. This looks like a used screw anyway. Oh yeah, look how crooked it is. It's okay. It only has to go through a little bit of wood and then into the plastic. That one's not gonna bite on anything. Let's try this one and see if that one will bite on anything. Well, it's biting on that. Let's set you up here instead of trying to hold this with one hand and operate it with the other. Work smarter, not harder. I've heard that somewhere. Let's try it. I don't even know if that did anything. I know this one did. It has a different bit. It uses this Torx style star bit here. Get that one in there. Well, let's pull this other one out and see what else we can do. Oh, it's not even going to come out. There we go. That crookedy ass screw is going to go in the trash. Is that one longer? Same length. I think that's the longest screws I have. But this thing feels like it's on here pretty good. So now we will drill a hole through the center of this thing and attach it on here. Just like that. Beautiful. All right, let me get that attached. Hey, don't look like much maybe, but we got a little bit of adjustment here. I thought that was kind of neat at first, but then I realized that, I mean, I have adjustment all day long on my tripod here. So anyway, that feature is not such the big deal. It is nice to have a little bit of height adjustability here. So that's cool. The last thing I have to do is cut this PVC right here. I've measured it so that my tripod fits in here now. I said I was making this for my buddy, for Robert Roy, his cooking channel, but I don't have his tripod here, so I'm hoping it fits in here. If it doesn't, it'll be a darn shame if I have to keep this thing for myself, because I was kind of making this. This was his idea, and we kind of brainstormed it a little bit. Well, it was his idea to try to make some sort of a stand and put it on wheels, but I'm not going to give him credit for reutilizing the fan stand for this. Although I am going to give him credit for the PVC. That was his idea. But if his tripod doesn't fit in here, I've already got someone from the Buy Nothing website that I mentioned earlier who has 2 more fans. So one way or another, I'm making another one because I'm digging this, and he may or may not get this one. Whatever one turns out better is the one that I'm gonna keep, so. Sorry, I'm making them. I busted out the DeWalt chop saw for this. I know I could have cut it with a hand saw, but for some reason every time I try to cut something it ends up a little bit on the crookedy side. I think it's my crooked nature. All right, there we go. And I can PVC cement that in there, but there we go. Ta-da! This thing is all right. What I like about this is that I can now get in when I'm working on something and not have to worry about getting a stand where I need it, because this is my stand now. And wherever I need to get, I'm right in the thick of the action. I just move the stand where I want it. I can work on this wheel. I can zoom in, no problem. Zoom out. Yeah. Back to this guy. Awesome. Put it where you want it. Let's take a look at it here from, there we go. And this goes right in here. I can take that out, use it, put it in here when I want to use it like that. Or I mean, my buddy can if he ever picks this thing up. Because I'm not delivering this. You gotta come get it, and you better bring some sort of a bribe. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna make another one for sure. He'll get one, whether it's this one or version 2, whichever one is better. We'll. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna give away the junky one. Come on. Nice, nice and easy. Of course, I'm sure you can buy something like this, but making it yourself, especially out of little bits and pieces and junk, it's kind of fulfilling. It's fun, something to do, and I really like the flexibility of this thing. As far as, like, you could get a tripod, but I like that I can put my camera in. I put my camera in the tripod that I have, the little handy tripod, and I can set it in here, and then I can walk away from it, and I'm hands-free now. And if I want to grab it and move around with it, I can do that too. So, nice little project. Glad that we brainstormed on it together, and we're using stuff that was going into the landfill anyway. I could paint this black, or I could have cut this out into a little bit different pattern. And I guess I got the buttons here. I could make them do something. That'd be kind of cool. Too much work. It's just a camera stand. Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.